Welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast with Jacob Ayers, providing actionable content to help you along your journey to financial freedom through real estate investing. As the premier asset class, real estate has helped ordinary people just like you amass fortunes. The benefits of passive income from real estate investing will allow you to live a life you want. And now your host, entrepreneur, real estate investor, and apartment deal syndicator, Jacob Ayers.
Hi, and welcome to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Jacob Ayers. You're listening to episode 214. Today, I have an exciting guest for you. We're bringing back on a guest for the third time, which is a record for the podcast. You are familiar with this guest, Mr. Vinney Chopra. Vinney, hey, thanks so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm so privileged to be on your show.
Oh man, it's our pleasure, Vinney. It's always our pleasure. So, well, hey, I had to get you back on because, about every year or two, you got to check back in with people and see what's new with them. But it's like every week something is new. You're always doing something different. So I know I had to reach out to you, get you back on the show. So what's new in your life? How are you?
Oh, I'm just well. Thank you, Jacob. One newest thing is that we moved into our dream home that we had planned maybe over 10, 15 years back. Hopefully, we'll get into the country club of Black Hawk, which is a this community with $10 million homes, $15 million homes, and 4 million and 3 million. Ours is only 3 million. And it's a great community. Yes. The other thing is that we got a great property under contract in Orlando, Florida, and it's for $52 million. And I raised $7 million in 7 hours. That's my record now. 7 million.
Oh, wow. Well, okay. So it's so easy for a guy like you to just say, hey, we got a $52 million property under contract, 7 million in 7 hours. People can become disconnected from that level of success. So first off, just kind of tell us how you've got to that point.
I came into this country with $7. Some of your audience might know $7 in my pocket. I sold books and encyclopedias door to door. I'm an engineer from India, but then I cut my teeth in sales and marketing when I was selling door to door. And then I became a promotional consultant for many years and then retired. Actually, 4 years back with lots of money, multimillionaire with the company because we had only 2 companies when I joined. When I left them 37 years later, we had 14 companies in that private corporation. So it was a good run for me. But then I became a broker 2004, as some of you might know. And that's when I got my whole whiff of the multifamily fever, I call it, just about 14, 15 years back. And rest is history. Now we control $250 million, and we are ready to get another 42 million. So humble beginnings, 14 units. We had a lot of duplexes and single family homes, and we sold them all. But then 14 unit was my start.
Yeah, no, Vinney, I want to ask you something, and it's very easy for people out there who maybe have the handful of duplexes like myself, or maybe that person who's just trying to get started and looks at a guy like you and says, oh, I don't know, there's something different about Vinney. Like, I'll never be there. I'll never have a $50 million deal in Orlando or $250 million worth of assets under management. But what do you have to say to that perspective?
Okay, I'm so glad you're saying that, Jacob. The biggest thing I can say is that stay in multifamily. Stay in multifamily, duplex, 4plex, 6plex, 8plex, 12plex, but also get ignited with the word syndication. If any of your audience is listening to me on this podcast, please look into syndication. That has changed my life. Syndication is simply pooling the money together legally. That's all it is. It's pooling the money together. There is 26 trillion with a T, $trillion of money in America in retirements. And a lot of baby boomers, they are retiring. They have a ton of money. They don't know where to invest. Even the newcomers, the millennials, they are loving the portability. Everybody knows they don't want to buy homes anymore. They want to live in apartments. There is pent-up demand for apartments, which is going to stay for 35 to 50 years, till eternity. Maybe the apartments will change the way we design them and everything, but they are going to be there. So that's big thing. The biggest word I want to talk about today is syndication. That is what has scaled me to where I am, about 50 million deals and all. By the way, I didn't do it to myself. I want to share that with a partner. And very good company. I want to promote them also. Enzo Multifamily. Many of you might know them. Sapan, Veena Jetty, and all of their group founders. That's what we have combined our forces now. We have been managing our assets for 12 years. And now Monil and Enzo have gone into this partnership in this first property, then second and third and fourth. We are buying in the emerging markets.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, Vinney, because just recently we had Mrs. Veena Jetty on the podcast. So our audience is familiar with her and Enzo Multifamily there. Yeah, she's a really exciting person and she's really out there doing stuff. So it's exciting to see you guys partnering up and doing deals together.
Surely. My best ever was 23 million. Before that, what I did on my own. But then with a 56, you need almost $40 million net worth because the loan is 40 million around that time. So that's where, it's good to have power. But the biggest thing I want to talk to your audience is don't give up. Go get 60 units, 50 units, 40 units, but don't stay in the single home market. We had so many, not hundreds, but we had a lot of single family homes scattered all over USA. They were making little bitty cash flow. But if we needed a boiler change, if we needed something else, or the stove went out or something, there went the cash flow. But in multifamily, because we have so many people under one roof, even one person leaves or 2 or 5 or 10, it doesn't really affect that much. And then you have more economies of scale. Everybody knows that. But the biggest thing is syndication world, it's not a gorilla. And if some of you are thinking about coming on with my book, my journey from $7 to 250 million. So maybe you might like to get these pointers, which I share in that book.
Yeah, that's awesome, Vinney. Well, hey, what are some philosophies, some mindsets, some principles that have helped you grow and scale such a large portfolio over the course of your investing career?
Thank you. Sure. Jacob, I would say definitely take action now. That's number one. Power of Now from Eckhart Tolle. Tremendous book. I've been a creature of Tony Robbins. I'm a creature of Zig Ziglar. My mentors like Jim Rohn. And a lot of people have listened. And J. Maxwell, John Maxwell right there. Stephen Brown, Les Brown, you name it. David J. Schwartz. Where is my book right there? We just moved. So we have so many books, thousands of books I have bought. This was the greatest book I ever read, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. Amazing, amazing book. This is 40 years old book, by the way. 40 years.
Really? I've never heard of it.
Oh, really? It's called The Greatest Salesman in the World. Everybody's a salesperson, whether we believe or not. Doctors, attorneys, everybody has to communicate. So that's what this book is about. It goes through scrolls, everyday scroll, and it just makes a lot of sense. But the thing is, Magic of Thinking Big by W.J. Schwartz. All these books are Napoleon Hill. Oh, who can forget that? That changed my life. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Because you got to set expectations, goals. The dreams are there. A lot of us dream like crazy every day. But the thing is, it's between the people who take action and they are the people who don't take action. I call them as doers and watchers. That's the two categories. So the biggest thing is you got to be a doer. You got to take massive action every day. Every single day, you got to just say, what did I accomplish today? That's going to get me near to the goal. And give yourself feedback. When you accomplish a little bit portion of the goal, give yourself a big reward. If you did not, look in the mirror and say to yourself, you messed up. I'm not going to let you do this again. You got to get back into the rhythm because things only happen if we are putting the best activities every day to get the best results.
I love it, Vinney. Man, there's so much good stuff there, but essentially we're going to boil that down as to what you're saying is, first off, take action and invest in yourself. It's pretty clear that you've done a lot of self-development, going to Tony Robbins seminars and all of this personal education over a long course of your lifetime. So you're saying essentially take action, couple that with education. That's the recipe to kind of really got you where you are today.
Totally. It's again being positive. I'm always smiling. My middle name is Smiles. The thing is, it's Kumar actually, but they took it out 40 years ago. I know when I got trophies or plaques, being number one salesperson or consultant, whatever, they just took my middle name out and put it in the parenthesis smile, Vinney Chopra. I said, oh my gosh, now I have to live up to that name, right? So
Yeah.
I've been trying to do that. I'm a very positive person. I really believe that one can do state of mind. You could change that, not to be pessimistic, because the thing is, what things have happened, we cannot change them. Whether they were good or bad or ugly, you cannot change 30 seconds even what happened before. So why to worry about it? That's the problem. The other thing, the worry we do is what might happen. And 87% of the things don't happen at all. So essentially, all we can take care of is today.
I love that attitude, Vinney. But I've kind of got to ask, where does your passion stem from? You're always so positive. I mean, for goodness sake, your name is Mr. Smiles. So where does it come from? Where do you find that drive and that energy and that passion just day in and day out? Because I've talked to you several times now and you're just legitimately always so happy, so positive. So
I appreciate you, Jacob. To your audience, I want to let you know, I hope you will give the version of this one to me. I'll put it on my channel in the YouTube, or you might do the video version, because I'll be 67 years of age coming up on August 27. Let everybody know that. 67. A lot of people give up on life in 50, 55, or 60. They say, I'm done for the year, done for my life. And I really believe if you don't stimulate your mind, if you're not eating right, you're not doing the miracle morning in the morning, you're doing yoga and everything and eating properly, you will wither away. I've got my vision board for the next 30 years. Next 30 years. I'm 67. I'm looking at 97, being alive and doing well and being totally motivated. My passion right now is to just spread the word of syndication, entrepreneurship to the young people, right from 14 years of age. I'm doing a youth academy, which I have done already, some portions of it, but I'm going to do more, and then give it for free, totally free to all the young Americans and people around the world. It's all online. That's the exciting part. Really gets it. I have 728 lectures now in my multifamily syndication academy that I've done. I've done case studies, lots of great stuff. But the key thing is I'm going to move 1 million people into syndication. 1 million people out of the 8 billion in the world, or whatever we have. So that's a small goal. It could be bigger also. The biggest thing, the passion of life comes with living every day. See, I could be watching TV right now. I could be lying down. What for? Oh my gosh, there's so much to be done in this small stage of life.
Yeah. Vinney, your energy is just so contagious. And I love speaking with you because it's the end of the day here in Houston, Texas. And, I could easily be winding down and you are going 90 miles to a minute and makes me just want to do the same. So I'm sure it's doing the same thing to people out there.
Thank you. It's exciting. I think, if we live with passion and when we live there, there's no tomorrow. I think that's the other thing. That's the one thing I look at myself. I say, you know what? I want to accomplish so much. And when you have that in your mind that you want to accomplish your 7 days, 5 days of work or 6 days, we usually work. Entrepreneurs work 24 hours, but the thing is, we relax, we do things, we do other vacations, all that stuff. The key thing is when we are working, we need to concentrate and only have tunnel vision. Focus. Focus is power. I don't know where my magnifying glass is, but I use that, all the time, because if you take it up and down and you're able to burn, if the focus rays are on your back of your hand, they're going to burn it. And that's what happens. Once we get focused, channel vision, we get results.
Yeah, I love that. That's actually a really good analogy and a good point, right? If you're just very broad looking at all these different things and not really focused on one thing, you're not going to quote unquote burn anything, right? You're not going to really laser in that focus and actually get anything accomplished.
So true, Jacob. See, the thing is, a lot of people, my students are now in my academy, flippers, wholesalers, attorneys. I have everybody. Let's talk about surgeons, pharmacists, all these people who have made a lot of money now. So now is the time they can learn this business. And I did say wholesale. A lot of other people come to my mind and they are so focused because they want to utilize the money. There's the word called OPM. Other people's money. And that's what it is. It's a big art to understand, doing one syndication, small or big, it doesn't matter, because you will be helping so many people to realize the gains which they will be able to get as an equity partner. And that's who we take in our company. Equity partner investors, I call those three words together, because they are getting 18 to 26% is my average track record without doing anything passively, where they're getting that kind of return. Plus, on top of that, the depreciation effect, accelerated depreciation, taxation, and the expenses. So the investors can get money, cash flow, but they don't have to pay taxes, because the LLC that runs the property takes the paper losses, we call it, paper losses of accelerated depreciation. With Trump now, with President Trump, he even gave a lot more. Everything you spend on capex, you write off in first year. Oh my gosh. I mean, that can be negative. You can carry forward that negative there. So all those things really amount to, we are helping so many people. Like in my company, we have a goal. We have investors are gold. Our residents are gold. We never say tenants. They are residents always.
Yeah, right.
Monil Premier Communities. And then the third one is our team members are gold, because they are Monil. 67 full-time people, they are Monil team members. They are gold. And then come the investors. See, the investors I think I said first.
Right.
Investors bring the money. If they don't bring the money, we can't buy anything. Then the residents, then team members, and then vendors, and then comes our company and family and all. So the thing is, if we keep that in perspective, we will be able to accomplish a lot more.
Yeah. Well, Vinney, what tips and advice would you have to somebody who's interested in getting involved in syndication, maybe learning more about it, being involved in a syndication? What would you have to say to somebody like that?
I would say get a coach. There are lots of great mentors and coaches who are walking the talk. They're doing this. They can teach. Don't try to get free information. Free information when people give you, they are just teasing you with the superfluous, right? You want to really get into some kind of program and get into it so that you can learn it from the masters. And hopefully they are able to share. Like in my academy, I share everything I've developed over 12 years. I give them all. Day one, the PowerPoints, the Excel worksheets, the underwriting, all the documents, any kind of documents they need, which I've developed, it's at their footstep. So those kind of things are very important, that we don't spend too much time and money into just learning the art. We should be able to get going right away within 3 months. I would say 2 to 3 months. My students are just doing so well, because they are able to use those techniques. And then I do master coaching myself also, where I bring the deals and we analyze them, we record them. If hundreds of students cannot join, they still get the whole recorded session because they're working or things like that, or they cannot join.
So really it comes down to, like you were talking in the beginning of this is a team sport, right? So even whether you're doing deals or learning about deals, you got to develop a team around you, and that coach is just one part of that team.
Totally, exactly right. And I would highly recommend not to get too many partners right away on the get-go, because you don't know if it's going to work out. You don't know their work ethics. You don't know how their profile is. So it's good to just form your LLC. Wyoming LLC is the best one, by the way, for the business. Wyoming or Mississippi, they behave just like Las Vegas or Delaware. So we like the Wyoming. Have an LLC, have your partner also get an LLC, and you're going to deal together as two separate LLCs into the partnership. That's the best way. Do it one, see if there are ups and downs. Can you solve them? Have the full job description of what each partner is going to do. Both probably will be working 9 to 5. So the commitment has to be there, but it's a team sport. It really is. I wouldn't be here if my partner and I didn't join in. It took us 11 months to buy our first 14 units. 11 months. So a lot of rejection, a lot of different things, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of trying to quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. That's the other lesson. Things will work out if you're staying in the ballgame.
Yeah, sure. Well, I want to switch gears here a little bit and ask you a little bit about your portfolio, what you're doing. Are you growing, selling, buying? What are you seeing in the marketplaces? Where are you liking to invest these days? Just kind of walk us through what you're seeing.
I would love to. Sure, Jacob. We have sold out of my 10 properties I bought. south of Houston. You know them. And we sold two already, Havana Villa, and we sold Avalon Villa up there in the Sweeney area. We bought for 4 million, sold for 5.225. And another one we sold higher. Then another one in Freeport, I sold Sienna Villa, bought for 3.550. They were 16 burnt units. I built them back up, did the renovation, changed the profile from a C class to a B class, and got 8.5 million for that one.
Wow.
So that was a good win for my investors and everybody. We loved it. I doubled their money almost, or more than double. And then we sold the NASA property also, Terrace Villa, which was again very big win. And then we sold one in Midland, actually, 40% IRR to our investors for over 6 years. And that was amazing because that property gave our investors 100,000 they gave us. They got 240,000 back. They got their 100 back plus 240. So that was another feather in the cap. Last year we sold it. I did not buy anything last year. Everything was so high. Everybody was getting new investors, old investors. They were overbidding and I just couldn't make the numbers work. I don't give 90, 10%, never, ever. I don't want to work for 10% of the deal because I'm on the loan, millions of dollars. My life is dependent on running that asset to deliver. A lot of people are buying these things at a very high price. They should not be buying. The thing is, 70-30 should be the minimum split between the syndicator and the investors. And we should be able to give our investors 7, 8, or 9%, like I'm doing in the Orlando deal with Enzo multifamily. We bought this deal, 122 tours happened on that deal. But we were able to get that because we gave 250,000. I gave my money non-refundable day one when we signed the contract. And 250 my partners paid. So $500,000 we are giving. If we don't close, we lose $500,000. That's a little bigger game. But at the same token, we should talk about, I love Texas still. I love Houston. If you look at the IRR report, I hope everybody's seen that. Houston is in the recovery mode. So Houston is going to go through the cycle again. Houston is the best place to buy right now. Dallas, Fort Worth, we're looking at 4 assets in Fort Worth area. We even had one come out in Plano, Texas, another one. We are looking over there. Price is a little higher. We love Louisville, Kentucky. We love Lexington, Kentucky. Greenville, South Carolina. Raleigh-Durham is still strong. Then Atlanta. Oh my gosh, Atlanta has gone like crazy. I bought a property just 20 months back, literally. Jacob, I can't tell you. $10 million I paid, selling for $15.4 million. 15.4 million. What? In 20 months, doubling your money. I can't believe it. Then my other property, I bought 2 in Atlanta. My other property is like crazy. The whole city, people told me, Vinney, there's a lot of crime, this and that. Don't buy it over there. I bought it. And it is like my property's gone from 12 million to almost 18 million. Again, 50% higher in 20 months. I bought it both the same time. The one I'm selling and the one I'm keeping. The thing is, again, I went to Orlando. Students can come and buy in Orlando and Jacksonville and Tampa. We are very high on that, all triangle, because we are buying bigger ones, like 52 million. I'm looking at a 42 million. Another one, I think 18 million, something like that. Some of these are pocket listings and all that. But your audience can buy anywhere, these markets. And then, you could go to Phoenix right there. I have not bought anything there. Salt Lake City, Utah. So there are a lot of pockets. There is going to be downturn coming. It is going to come, but it's not going to be as drastic as 2007-8. That's one thing we need to keep in mind. A lot of people are getting out of the market. I say stay in the market to get the gains because you will never know when to come back in. Just keep on working on your investors and make sure that your list is ready. Like I raised 7 million in 7 hours by sending that Bentley property to my investors, pre-existing relationships, and they just committed right away 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 because we do a tier now. Tier program. I would love to share that, Jacob. So for 200,000 or less investment, they get 7% preferred and 70-30 split and all that. Okay. But if they do 200 to 499,000, they get 8% preferred. And then if somebody's committing into the deal, 500 plus 1,000, one person or one LLC or whatever, then they get 9% returns plus the 70/30 and so on. So they end up making almost 9 times 5 years, let's say hold 45, right? So 45%, 7 times 5 is 35. So that's like a 10% extra spread that these people with the high investments make. Yeah.
Yeah. And Vinney, really quickly, explain what that preferred return is for people that might not understand.
Oh, totally. Preferred return is a very good way to protect your investors, and they like that. Many times we used to do that, okay, we're going to give you whatever the quarter brings in the cash flow after paying all the, of course, income is coming in, expenses go out, mortgage goes out, capex goes out, everything. Then it's the net income, right? So we split that 60-40. I've done a lot of them 60-40 and given my investors 18 to 26%. Not anymore because the prices have gone up. So we went to 70-30 split, and sometime in the first year, we might even go 75-25 just to get the cash flow. But the preferred rate means it's not a guaranteed rate. Let me say that first, to the investors and everybody who's actively or passively investing. Preferred rate means Class A members of the LLC that's purchasing the property, Class A gets paid first. Class B is us, the syndicators, the promoters, and everybody who's manages also, because I manage all my properties and we're going to manage Bentley also. So preferred rate is from the total distribution of the cash flow. We give 7% or 8 or 9% to the investors first. So in other words, if we don't get our share, we will defer. It's called defer, to the future. Same thing is true if the investors did not get their 7% or 8 or 9%, we'll defer it to next year and pay that back first. Or if we did refinancing or a sale, we catch up. We call it catch-up, truing up, it's called. So if we did not pay the investors that agreed upon preferred rate, we will give that first to them before we do the splits and all that. That's how it is.
So essentially what it boils down to is it's the first 7, 8, 9% of the cash flow goes to the investors as the preferred return.
Exactly. So they're safeguarded because, see, the thing is SEC ruling, the watchdog is totally designed. I love that because they oversee the Ponzi schemes and this and bad management and bad record keeping and all that and commingling, which is not allowed. That's what it keeps us syndicators straight, transparent, straight. And that's what investors like. And we need to do that. And we really have a very big communication between our company and the investors. The recording of the meetings, the minutes, the financials. There are portals outside where we upload the reports and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, Vinney, as we're wrapping up here, what advice would you have to people out there who are thinking about becoming involved in multifamily investing and syndicating? I know we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but just kind of condense it down, some actionable steps. I know you're real big on action.
I am. I really believe in action. That's the name. You got to act every day in the most important activities because those 20% of the activities, the most important, will get you 80% of the result. It's the 80-20 rule or 70-30 rule. I believe in that because you got to look at when you sleep at nighttime, how many investors you talk to today, how many brokers you talk to today. That's what I teach in my academy also. I hold people accountable because the thing is, if they are not really wanting to learn the business, they shouldn't be in it. That's what I tell them. I said, you got to go for it. It's not hard at all. Syndication is getting the investors, touch with them. I only have met with through FaceTime and the Zoom, WebEx, GoToMeeting, most of my investors. I don't go and meet with them for luncheon and dinners. I don't waste their time. They don't waste my time. I like to just get to the nitty-gritty, show my presentation on the screen and ask them to ask me questions. I record the session, then I send a link back to them so that they could actually go and see the whole presentation again and then make up their mind if they want to work with me in the future investments or not. So it's really good to keep on. Everybody's an investor. It's amazing. we cannot rationalize because money is all around us. The other thing is building relationship with the brokers. Huge to find the right deals and just joining them together. So I would say get a coach. Again, I'm going to say that again. Get a good mentor who can take you to a place where you want to go.
Yeah, sure. Well, speaking of that, tell us a little bit about this multifamily academy of yours. I know you've had it going for a couple of years now. You've started to put a ton of content there. Tell us what people can expect if they go there and check that out.
Totally. I would love to say, Jacob, like I'm the kind of guy, I believe that, I don't want the investors to spend too much money to learn. Even though I spend $160,000 for me and my teams of people to go to the mentors and boot camps and everything. But I believe that, you could learn so much in just through like my students. They've gone through, they said, Vinney, I've gone through your lecture twice, 3 times, same lecture. I said, why? He says, well, every time I listen to that one, I got more points and I'm writing it down. And I want to use that verbiage and that script and use your knowledge and all that, mimic you or duplicate you. And that's what I do. I give the credibility brochures and everything which cost me $10,000. I give it to them in PowerPoint right away to change it. Take the same language, pay $50, $60 to a virtual assistant. In Philippines, I put them in touch with them too. All the people who are working for me across the world, I put them in touch, my attorneys and everything. So the thing is, it's very reasonable to really learn and my academy is doing very well. Thank you so much. But the thing is, it's very reasonable. That's the best part. I don't know if I can mention the cost. It's only $24.97 for everything. $24.97. That's only less than $2,500. We're at your own pace, and you have lifetime login into that and so forth. Or if they want to do with me master coaching, where I teach all the students together and so forth, that's $49.97. And people are willing to pay me $25,000 personal coaching. I just don't have time.
Yeah, well, that should be a good sign of your coach, right? They're too busy actually out there doing deals to actually sit down and coach you, right?
That's what I'm really about. And negotiations, looking through all the companies, looking through all the contracts and working with the financials, all that.
Yeah. Well, Vinney, what's the future look like for you? What do you have in store? What's going to be on the horizon?
My book is coming out, by the way.
Tell us about it.
It's a apartment syndication made easy. That's the name of the book. I have a website also, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, where I'll be teaching more stuff. The biggest thing is that it's my journey, how and what mindset. A lot of books are there on multifamily. A lot of books are there for managing or buying. This is on syndication. This is totally in simplified way how to do what I do. I'm giving my heart out right there in that book. And then also I'm giving them $1,000 off, like from my $5,000 program. I'm giving $1,000 off to join my academy if they buy the book and they get that coupon or whatever. So that's a good one. Kindle edition is coming, and then the audio edition will be coming, and then it will be changed into different languages. Then I'm writing another book on apartment management, which is a big part of a syndication, because if you cannot deliver results to the investors, they won't stay with you. They'll go out and find other means. So that's a huge part. Syndication is one part, management is the other part. And then again, my main philosophy right now is to spread the word to get 1 million syndicators around the world. And I think they can do it. It's amazing. If you just start slowly, you can still do it, for 50 units syndication, or you could do 100 units. But once you taste it, you would not go anywhere. I mean, look at that. I mean, in this deal, we're going to make $2 million payday coming up here in June. $2 million. My partner get $1 million, I get $1 million just to do this deal together. It's the acquisition fee. And then, there are ways to make the splits with the cash flows. Then when we sell it, equity gain, and then we manage it also because our companies manage. That's 3%. That's $141,000 per year. We have to pay that to third party. Why not to pay to our company? And then all that, an asset management fee. So it's a very lucrative field, needless to say.
Yeah, sure. Well, Vinney, where can people learn more about you, check you out, connect with you, learn about the Multifamily Academy, all of that?
Oh, sure. My website is really big now. VinneyChopra.com, Vinney, Vinney Chopra, CHOPRA.com. And please go to the academy and apply for mentorship at my academy, because we don't accept everybody. We ask them to fill out a very big questionnaire, tell us where they are and how motivated they are, because we don't want to take their money. Even it's $2,000, $3,000. I don't want anybody's money unless they are totally committed to learning it and putting it into practice. So that's the best place. Or you could email me directly, Vinney@VinneyChopra.com or info@VinneyChopra.com, or my business advisor, John, JON, @VinneyChopra.com.
Perfect. Well, hey, thanks so much for all that. We'll link that website in the show notes if our audience members want to check that out, reach out to you. Vinney, hey, it's been so much fun having you back on for a third time. I look forward to you being the record holder for the near future and staying on these episodes. So, hey, well, thanks so much, Vinney.
Thank you, Jacob. God bless you. What a tremendous podcast you have, and you're making a difference in the lives of people. You are wonderful.
Well, thank you very much for that, Vinney, but it's only possible with great guests like yourself. So thank you so much. Well, Vinney, hey, till next time, take care.
Thank you. Thank you. You too, Jacob. And let's meet. We have been trying to meet actually in Houston. I'll be flying in. I'll let you know, and let's have dinner or lunch together.
Let's do it. Thanks, Vinney.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. All right, that wraps up today's conversation with our guest, Vinney Chopra. Vinney is such a nice and positive person, and he's willing to help others out around him. And he's just a pleasure to talk with. That's why I've had him on the podcast 3 times now, and we'll likely have him back on in the future. Well, Vinney is actually practicing what he's preaching as he's working on his 27th successful syndication. Vinney has a long, successful track record of syndicating apartment complexes. So if you'd like to reach out and learn about what Vinney's doing, you can find more at www.VinneyChopra.com. We'll link that in the show notes. And as always, for more information, resources, or to connect with me, please visit www.JacobAyers.com. Till next week, engineer the lifestyle you want.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom podcast, providing you actionable content to build your real estate empire. Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for personal advice. The opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have a potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of the Real Estate Way to Wealth and Freedom, LLC, exclusively.